afternoon, Andy Atkinson for RiseUpTV. Welcome to the LNER Stadium, or the LNER casserole dish as it is today. It's pretty warm down here at pitch level. It is the championship, 10th round of the championship, York Knights against Hunslet. First meeting of the old force for quite a number of seasons, but it should be an absolute belter of a game down here today. And Hunslet playing well, but just can't seem to get over the line for a win. And the York Knights, of course, in good form, and a few changes today for the Knights. We'll speak to the coaches and find out just what they think of today's game. Kindly been joined by Mark Applegarth, York Knights head coach, ahead of today's game against Hunslet, 10th round of the championship. Mark, your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, obviously we're coming in as heavy favourites, which presents a challenge in itself. But you know, Hunslet, I know the bottom of the league, but they've still got a lot of firepower in the ranks. You know, they've got Lee Gaskell, Greg Eden, and Hannigan in the pivots, and you know, they all cause a threat. You know, if we give them too much time and space, we'll definitely know about it. And you know, they're a very game team. You know, we know that we're going to have to take them on a journey to break them down and wear them down. Because if we don't, and we don't show them that respect, it's going to be a long day for us. So we want to focus on fast start, you know, making sure that we start how we want to start, put them in places, you know, where we want to turn over the ball. But at the same time, we know that Hunslet will feel like they've nothing to lose, and when a team's like that, it's you know, it's a dangerous opposition indeed. So looking forward to it. You know, the weather's out, good atmosphere, so all being well, we can put on a decent show for the crowd.
Yeah, and a strong, fit squad at the moment as well, and you've rung a few changes today. Yeah,
a couple. I've been wanting to give Connor Bailey a bit of a breather for well, a good 2-3 months, because he played every game last year, played a couple of games this year, carrying a couple of niggles. So you know, we thought we'd give Ollie Field a chance to have a go in that back row spot today. You know, he's been doing a tremendous job in centres, and as you said there, luckily for a change, we've had a fully fit squad, so it's been nice to be able to put Ollie out there and rotate one or two. Atterington and another. He took a bit of a bump on his shoulder last week, so we're just trying to let that settle down. But you know, as I said, at a push, he'd have played today if needed. Yeah,
and we get our first look at your new signing. Came in this week, Tamatafa, who from Lazignon.
Yeah, really impressed with Toa, so looking forward to seeing him go myself, if I'm honest. He speaks very well. You can tell he's got a really good understanding of the game, and we've had a tough week's training, if I'm honest with you, because we played Saturday. Tuesday we were a lot heavier than we'd normally go on, and yeah, he's responded really well, so he's coming in pretty match sharp as it is after a 20-odd game season in France, and he'd only had, I think, a week or two off before he joined us, so he's going to go at full-back, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how he goes.
Mark, all the very best today. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, kindly been joined by Dean Muir, Hunslet head coach. Dean, thanks for being with us. Your thoughts on today's game, championship, 10th round, and great playing surface down here at the LNER for you?
Yeah, unbelievable playing surface, nice and wide. Love the track, sprinklers are out now, so it'll be nice and soft. There's no excuses for either team. Always a tough trip to York. Very well coached by Mark Applegarth, and they've assembled a good squad and just starting to find form, so it's a good test for us to see how far we've come.
Yeah, Hunslet, I mean, you've been in decent form, just struggling to get over the line, just get that result, Dean, but you've recruited well lately. You've brought a couple of players in that have made a difference.
Yeah, a couple of players we've brought in, but a couple of players have come back from long-term injuries, which have really helped us. I agree, we've probably just been 10-20 minutes short in a couple of games where if we'd have kicked on, been a bit more ruthless, we could have probably been 8th, 9th in the competition, but we are where we are, and we've just got to keep getting better every week, and we understand that as a playing group. But we know what we need to fix up, so we're quite confident.
Yeah, and where do you see the key to it today? Is it up front? Is it that first 20 minutes, the forwards?
Yeah, definitely. Mark always has the boys starting heavy, starting hard, values effort areas really well, kick chase, kick pressures, and he gets a team that turn up for each other. So if we don't match that in the first 20, we're in for a long afternoon, and that's been our Achilles heel over the last few weeks, so we've got to make sure we start big.
Well, all the very best out there this afternoon, Dean, and thanks for your time. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
about ready for kick-off down here in the heated bowl that is the LNER this afternoon. Hunslet, they've just finished their warm-up, just disappearing up the tunnel as we speak. But cracking game in prospect. I'm joined by Mick Ramsden today. Mick, you'll remember, you'll have had a few bumps and bruises in games against Hunslet in the past, but the first time the teams have met for quite a number of seasons.
Many games against Hunslet, Andy. Yeah, to be honest with you, I always found it as the game that I look forward to the most. It felt like a derby, and there was always a little bit more heat involved with the games, both at South Leeds and what was then the Huntington Stadium. And I really enjoyed the Hunslet games, to be honest.
Yeah, and they'll present a challenge today, won't they, for the Knights?
Yeah, they will do. I mean, obviously, the Knights are on a roll. They're very confident. They won 5 out of 6, but Hunslet, you know, they're trying to get themselves together this season. They brought a couple of new players in. Lee Gaskell being one of note particularly. So it's not going to be an easy game, and I don't suppose they'll approach it as though it would be an easy game. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Mick Ramsden alongside me for the duration of the game today. That's up in front of us. Kick-off in a few moments, but quickly down those two teams this afternoon. The Knights showing a number of changes, 4 changes altogether, and some positional changes. And the debut at fullback in the 36 shirt for Tamatafa, who signed this week from Lazignon in the French Elite League at the end of their season, formerly with North Sydney Bears. The backs are unchanged from last week's win over London Broncos. Ben Jones-Bishop, Kieran Buchanan, Joe Law playing against his side. He had 8 games for last season. And Scott Galliano. The halves, Paul McShane steps into the shoes of Ati Ngannou, who's rested with a shoulder knock. So it's Paul McShane and Liam Harris in the halves. And then the starting forwards, Jack Martin, Sam Cook, who slots in a hooker, Kuma Tai, who returns on the other side of the front row, Jesse D and Ollie Field in the second row. Connor Bailey rested today. Should have mentioned that Joe Brown's rested, and Jody Thompson is in his familiar position at loose forward. And off the bench, 3 changes there. Jacques O'Neill returns, the former Castleford player. Brendan Santi restored to the 17 after a week off last week. Jacob Gannon and Kieran Hudson. Harvey Reynolds is the 18th man. Coach, of course, Mark Applegarth. And the Hunslet side, Greg Eden, the vastly experienced Greg Eden at fullback. Former England Knight, and played for Featherstone and Halifax last season. And the backs, Kobe Nicol, Liam Wellham, Billy Jowett, the former Bradford player, and Mackenzie Skur. And then the halfbacks, and that's a good pairing, Lachlan Hannigan, the former Haven player, Whitehaven player, but Australian, paired with Lee Gaskell. Super League experience with both Wakefield and Huddersfield. Starting forwards, Matt Fletcher, Cam Berry, and Keelan Foster, the front row. Harrison Gilmore, the French international. Kevin Leroya in the second row, and Kobe Ruglas, the Australian former Blacktown Workers player, is at loose forward. Off the bench, Harvey Hallis, the powerful Harvey Hallis, Jordan Syme, Ethan O'Hanlon, and Sam Webb-Campbell. No place for Jimmy Watson, Matty Beharrell, Ethan Wood, or Brad Clavering, who had 1 game for the Knights on loan from Hull Kingston Rovers around about 2017. Now we wait for the players to come out. The Knights in 6th place in the table. Hunslet just that 1 win against Batley, but they've had some near misses, and they gave witness again last week. Here they come. The Knights led out by the skipper, Liam Harris, Paul McShane, Scott Galliano, Kieran Buchanan, and it's Matty Fletcher who has skipper's duties for this Hunslet side. And Lachlan Hannigan, who played against the Knights in a Haven shirt. Following on behind him, Hunslet in the white myrtle and flame, as it's known. And the Knights, of course, in the strip that we've been familiar with at home this season, the black and amber hoops. And there's a bit of a traffic jam on one end of the line. But they're getting there. Brendan Santi just orchestrating things. He's the traffic cop, just easing the mascots into the right place. Well done, Brendan. Referee today, Aaron Belafonte, all decked out in red, gives a loud blast on his whistle. And his touch judges wheel away to the touchline. Aaron Belafonte looks as though he's going to hand this ball to Hunslet to kick off, kicking towards the south stand. And thrown on the floor by Keelan Foster. He said, it's not me, I don't take the kick-offs, mate. So Aaron Belafonte picks the ball up again. Fast start essential, Mick Ramsden.
Fast start, yeah, because Hunslet can start quick, and they did against Batley. I think they went something like 10-0 up in the first 6 minutes, so yeah, both teams will want to make an impression on this game early.
Billy Jowett to get us underway, 10th round of the championship, ball up in the air, sails deep towards Liam Harris. Liam Harris with Jack Martin at his shoulder in his orange boots and drives into the Hunslet line. Matty Fletcher, the first one to meet him in the scrum cap. Sam Cook. Fans are singing. Plenty of noise up the other end of the stand as Akumatai drives for the Knights. Very, very glary as we look out there. I've got me some glasses on today to try and help. Baseball cap as well. But it's going to be warm out there, isn't it, Mick? You'll have played in some warm conditions at various times.
It's great weather for rugby this Sunday. It's perfect.
Jesse D, the Australian, he'll feel at home in it, just runs that ball in. Knights about 42 from their own line. And then the man up from full back, his first touch, Toa Matafa. Kick to come from Liam Harris, just inside his own half, gets plenty of air under it. Mackenzie Skurs, the man tasked with catching it, and does a good job, the former Bradford player. Spent some time down the other end of the country at Cornwall as well, who have sadly now become defunct, and Hunslet really first chance to get their hands on the ball. Not a bad end of set for the Knights, Mick Ramsden.
Good set. The ball was going into space, but Mackenzie scored. He really had to work to get to that to catch the ball. He did really well to retrieve that ball.
Yeah. So yes, Hunslet, ball distributed by Cam Berry. Nick at the side of me used to play against his dad, Joe Berry, who's a bit of a stalwart at Dewsbury, Rochdale. Hunslet onto the 40. Ball deep, back to Lee Gaskell. Potent kicker if he's given time and space. Gets a bit manhandled by Sam Cook, gives him short shrift. And Toa Matafa, the Samoan fullback for the Knights on debut today, took that ball very easily. He'll be very match fit because Lesignan have only just finished that French elite season. They didn't qualify for the championship, but the Knights have knocked on in the form of Ben Jones-Bishop, who sort of berates himself as the Hunslet tacklers celebrate. And first error of the game, Mick, and not the best of places to cough the ball up.
Not at all, 40 metres out, and that's error by York, so it's first little win for Hunslet.
Yeah, scrum about to go down. Lee Gaskell with the ball in his hands. A good career, Lee Gaskell, 260 odd games, best part of 500 points for the likes of Huddersfield and Wakefield. And that's a decent run that's got him in good position from Liam Wellham. Centre field, Canberry looks round. Will he go left? Will he go right? He goes right, goes to Gaskell. Gaskell, deep ball into Greg Eden, up from full back, but Eden finds no way through. No option really to go to the two outside him as the Knights' cover defence was pretty good. Gaskell again chips the ball on into Fletcher, and Fletcher hits strong there by a combination of Sam Cook and Jack Martin, uncompromising. Akumatai in there as well. Certainly wouldn't want to meet those three at once. Hunslet probing away though, in the form of Keelan Foster, the former Halifax and Doncaster player. Berry goes to Lachlan Hannigan, trying to find space out on that right side. Hunslet, and the ball's come out of the possession of, I think it was probably Liam Wellham that couldn't hang on. So, promising by Hunslet, but no end result, Mick.
Yeah, it was promising. Yeah, they're having a go, and that's a good thing. Being pushed around by Hannigan and Lee Gaskell. So, yeah, it looks like Hunslet have come to have a go at the York side.
He'll get a bit of special attention today. Young Joe Laws has had 8 appearances for Hunslet on loan from Wakefield last season, and then after that, the Knights took him on loan, and successful loan, which turned into a permanent deal. Jordy Thompson, great work up the middle of the field, just poking his head through and keeping the legs pumping. Hunslet trying to hang on. That familiar now one-handed pick-up by Sam Cook, and Tamatafa drives the ball in straight and strong. He looked like a prop forward then did the full-back. Paul McShane hangs one up. And that's too hot for young Kobe Nickel over there. And formerly with the Leeds Academy. And he just couldn't hang on to that one. Clever kick from Paul McShane, who continues to get better and better in the York Knights shirt.
Difficult kick to take, that one, wasn't it?
Awful.
Usually pretty good, Kobe Nickel, under the high ball from what I've seen, and yeah, he struggled with that one. The ball was coming down and it was all over the place. Coming
out of the sun into the shade as well, which won't have helped. Here's a Kumatai, former New Zealand warrior, just to the left of the post. Strong. Stopped about 3 metres short. Sam Cook goes to McShane. McShane to Harris. Harris outflanks the defence. Ben Jones Bishop! And the Knights are in the corner. Too quick for Mackenzie Skerr, who didn't really get a hand on him. And it was that little scoop from Liam Harris around the player who flew out of the Hunslet defensive line. That created the overlap, that floating pass we've seen on so many occasions this season. And it's 8 tries for Ben Jones Bishop, and he must be absolutely relishing his move from Sheffield Eagles, because he just can't stop getting over the try line. So it is 4 points to 0 to the Knights, and we've had 7 minutes and a good start for the York side, Mick.
Yeah, it was Liam Harris skipping out. The defence was coming up, but he skipped out, and the defence came in on him, and it created space for the score on the edge. So first good ball set, first try to York. That's a good start by them.
Yeah, the creator at it again, Liam Harris. Just so many assists last week in that win over London Broncos, and he's created another one for his right winger, Ben Jones Bishop. The floated pass just allowing enough time for the former Sheffield man to crash in at the right corner. Liam Harris to attempt to convert.
Looking at the new guy, Tamatafa, he's a big lad, isn't he? He said early on in that set, Andy, he took the ball up like a prop forward.
He did. He's built like a prop forward.
He is, yeah.
In the words as James Ford used to say, he's a big, strong thing.
Yeah.
So here's Liam Harris. Try and make it 6 points to 0 from the touchline. It's got a chance. It's certainly got a chance. Oh, that's a beauty. That's an absolute beauty by Liam Harris. Right off the whitewash. The Knights lead 6 points to 0. You're listening to BBC Radio York. All our frequencies and online, following the Knights all season long, home and away. And they've got off to a good start. Restart from Hunslet deep again. Sam Cook, the recipient this time. And then the familiar man on his shoulder coming off the back rank. And the penalty. So Hunslet not really doing their cause any good and giving the gifting the Knights easy meters. And Liam Harris. Don't aim for me, Liam. That just about gets into touch. And the Knights will take possession 40 from their own line in the form of Scottish international Kieran Buchanan. The quiet man, he just goes about his work so busily, so industrious. And Ollie Field playing in the second row today in place of Connor Bailey. Jack Martin. Great work from Jack Martin. Still going, and Hunslet having a devil of a job to bring him down. They do finally. Right side of the attack, and once again Harris. Ben Jones Bishop's going to go in again. The same combination. Hunslet got drawn in. And Mackenzie Skerr stepped in off his wing, and that was absolutely fatal. And Liam Harris, he's so aware of the fact that Ben Jones Bishop will be hugging that touchline, and as soon as he sees the players come in, just trying to jam in, it's lethal, Mick.
It's poor defence, Andy, that's what it is. It really
I was
is.
being kind.
The threat from the right edge from York, it could be dealt with very easy just by setting the line and holding. There was no need for Mackenzie Score to fly in there, because Liam Harris is too good a player to not recognise that opportunity and get that ball out to Ben Jones-Bishop.
And Ben Jones-Bishop's 8th try of the season has been followed by Ben Jones-Bishop's 9th try of the season, and certainly Benjamin Laguerre, who heads the Toulouse winger, who heads the try-scoring standings in the championship, he's very much under threat when you consider Ben Jones-Bishop's only played about 6 games for the Knights. But fabulous work in at the corner. Too much pace for the Hunslet defence. Too much pace, too much space, Mick.
Too much space, yeah, absolutely. They had numbers there as well. There was not like there was an overlap of any kind. They just needed to hold the line and communicate. And so there's obviously real problems on that left edge for Hunslet, and York will know that that's the case. I'm sure they'll attack there again.
Liam Harris, much easier attempt at the conversion. He's about midway in from the touchline to the right hand upright. Joe Brown and Connor Bailey just topping up their suntans as Liam pulls that one past the left-hand post, and it remains 10 points to 0. So the easier of the 2 kicks is missed. But Hunslet once more having to restart, and just around about 11 minutes gone on the clock. So they've had a rocky old start of Dean Muir's side here. Billy Jowett to get them underway again, gives that a thump. That's mine, and then drops it. So another little error from the Knights.
Yeah, a couple of uncharacteristic errors. Liam Harris missing an easy kick.
Looked confident under it, put his hand up, said that's mine, and then promptly spilled it. So Hunslet with a chance to strike back. Field position created by Sam Cook's error. Scrum, 10 out. Ball fed in, Hunslet go right. They go to Hannigan. Hannigan just tries to ease past Knights defenders. Player who played for Wyong Roos in Australia, his last club before joining Whitehaven. Knights defence in the centre, strong enough. Sam Cook, the last one, off the tackle. And then they try to bash the front door down with Keelan Foster. Keelan Foster held up over the line, so he'll have to go back to the 10. Hunslet with the option to go either way, right or left, which they fancy. Left side, I reckon, Mick. Here we go. Gaskell, short ball, but once again, stopped. Harrison Gilmore this time. Tackled 5 metres out, 15 in from the near touchline. Canberry into Gaskell again, everything going through Gaskell. The tall, rangy half-back, trying to escape the clutches of Knights players, and I think possibly a rip in the tackle, so Hunslet will get the penalty as Akuma Tai was pondering whether he was capable of going the length of the field. Hands the ball back. Keelan Foster again tries to get an arm free for the offload, can't do so. Crumples to the ground, 10 metres to the left of the post. Canberry sweeps the ball right. Matt Fletcher, handling the ball on. Chance for Hunslet out wide. Have they got in at the corner? I think they have, and I think it might be Kobe Nickel. It's in the shadow of the stand out there, not easy to see, but Hunslet promoted that ball to the right, and they've unpicked the Knights defence out there on Scott Galliano's side, and we think it may well be Kobe Nickel that's got the try.
Just looked to me like it was just a bit of poor defence there, Andy. Joe Law got bumped off by Kobe Law, and then he reset himself and managed to dive over in the corner. So it just looked like it was a one-on-one miss that's created that chance.
Yeah, PA just corrected itself. Did originally attribute the try to Mackenzie Skur, but I'm pretty sure that's been corrected, and it was Kobe Nickel who went in at the corner, and that's off the back of that Sam Cook error, dropping that ball, and Hunslet able to profit from there. So we've had 3 tries in the right corner early doors, 2 at one end, 1 at the other. But Kobe Nickel, Hunslet just promoting that ball along the line to the right side, and able to squeeze in and reduce the arrears, 10-4. And somewhere in the shadow over there of the west stand is, I suspect, Billy Jowett. Not easy to pick out over there in this glare, Mick.
It is, yeah.
Can you spot him?
Yeah, that's him, Billy Jowett. We're wondering if he's related to Warren, weren't we, Andy?
We were, and we still don't really know, do we?
No.
Warren Jowett, the former Dewsbury Bradford prop forward. Not successful with the kick, it remains 10-4.
So I'm just going to drop in my, what I wanted to do, Andy, just wanted to say congratulations to Nige Holmes. He's one of our good friends who goes to the boot camp that I run on a Thursday and Saturday, and he's just run the marathon over, the Rob Burrows marathon over in Leeds this morning, and he's got a time of 3 hours 35 minutes, which is fantastic. First time he's ever done a marathon, so well done, Nige. He's raising money for the Rob Burrows MND Care Centre Hospital. Well done, mate. You did really well. I know a lot of the boot campers have gone over there to cheer him on, and probably sat in a beer garden right now in the sun.
Yeah, fabulous. Tim Spears, of course, who was with me a couple of weeks ago. Tim, he's done the Leeds Marathon as well today for the same cause. Hope you chucked him a few quid. And a fabulous effort from both those guys that we've just mentioned. Hunslet just about managed to retain possession. They let the ball go to the ground, it bounced, and it was collected tight to the right touchline. But they managed to sort of wrestle some sort of control over the ball back, and they're moving up once again in the former Keelan Foster, who's been very, very busy early doors. He's done a lot of work, the big fella. Kick, Lachlan Hannigan aims for the touchline, keeps skipping away from Ben Jones-Bishop. He did catch up with it eventually, and then Tamatafa, very confident hurl of the ball, and Scott Galliano's found a bit of space. The former Sunshine Coast Falcon broke out of defence very easily there for the Knights. Good running, and up to the 40, Joe Law takes over, and he's somewhat taken aback in more ways than one by the Hunslet defence. Jody Thompson again just pokes that head through the defensive line, and a penalty. Hunslet not clearing the ruck. Kevin Leroy, the offender. 14 times French international, former Catalan Dragon, former Toulouse Olympique player, puts his hand up and acknowledges he was the man at fault as Liam Harris puts the ball into touch. We have had 16 minutes, 10-4 to the Knights. 2 tries for Ben Jones-Bishop, 2 assists for Liam Harris. They go down the other side through Joe Law. He's brought down 15 out, pretty tight to the left touchline. Tamatafa just flips that ball up into the possession of Jack Martin. Jack Martin does the hard yards, drives the ball in. Knights within 15 again, possibly. Paul McShane, centre field to Harris. Harris looking for that potent right side. Finds Kieran Buchanan, this time he's held by Gaskell. And he's to the ground on the 10. Midway between the right touchline and right upright. Harris, drop-off ball into Jody Thompson. Jody Thompson trying to wriggle out of Canberry's tackle in front of the sticks. Sam Cook goes right. Harris again looks for options out there. Ball fired once more into Ben Jones-Bishop by Tamatafa, but this time Hunslet got enough troops there, brought him down, but the Knights still on the last. Kick across from Liam Harris, almost picked out of the air by the Knights player, but Hunslet defensively doing enough down there. And it was good work by Liam Wellham, the former Midland Hurricane, brother of Chris Wellham. Hunslet have to set about clearing their lines. Hard work in this heat, Mick.
It is hard work. You've got to dig in this heat. How much do you want to get out off your own line? Make yards for the kick.
Sunshine's reached us here on the media benches. Kick through, great positioning, great awareness there by Tamatafa.
Let's see you then.
Dear me, that was a risky one, and I think Ben Jones-Bishop's knocked on, and that was an error, and it was a poor pass from Tamatafa. No getting away from that. The ball arrived at the feet of Ben Jones-Bishop. He was trying to sort his feet out, then went to ground to try and grab the ball, but it wasn't on, And the Knights have made another error.
Bit laid back, Andy.
Yes, yeah, it was a bit sloppy, that.
It's too early to make judgment on him because he looks really good, but that was that pass was definitely not on.
The Kumitai's off for the Knights, and just trying to see who it is that's gone out there. Oh, the Kumitai's back out there because there's a scrum and they can't make the change at the moment. It's Brendan Santi champing at the bit in his eye. Viz away to our left. Hunslet. Ball fed into the scrum, ball out. Gaskell again, left side, the attack, deep ball into Greg Eden. Once more, the Knights have him surrounded. It was a bit like a wagon train there in one of those old westerns was Greg Eden. There was no way out. Circle the wagons and take the tackle. Gaskell, short ball, Fletcher again. He's worked hard. The two big prop forwards have been working hard. Former Oldham and North Wales Crusaders player Matty Fletcher. Lachlan Hannigan, a bit of work, and then it was a forward pass, and Hunslet couldn't hang on, and hand over. Nice ball.
Half a metre lower though, that could have been on. You know, they're playing pretty inventive rugby, and there's possibly if it had taken that, if the winger had taken that pass, could have been an opportunity there.
Yep.
York were jamming in a little bit.
Yeah, there was a bit of space out there on the right side, but ball floated forward. And that change has been made. You may have heard the round of applause. That was for Akumatai, who's done a 20-minute stint out there in the heat. He's been replaced by Brendan Santi.
Yeah, interchange is going to be important today, especially like with the weather, especially the middle players working hard. You know, they need to, going to have to spell some of them.
Yeah, Santi already on the ball with his first carry up to the 40. It is 10-4 to the Knights. Oh, great step. Lovely step by Jesse D. Referee's not happy with something. Referee Belafonte waves his arms about.
Not really sure what that's for, Andy.
No, I wasn't.
Called it?
I don't even know what it's called. It was, he sort of waved his fingers as if he was giving time off, but anyway, it looks like a penalty to the Knights. Liam Harris has promptly dumped the ball into touch, and they will take over possession. 40 from the South Leeds sideline, and Jack Martin spills the ball immediately. I think the Knights might be getting this ball back. I think he's deemed that the Hunslet impact knocked the ball out backwards, out of Jack Martin's possession, and Hunslet then knocked on.
They're lucky if they have got the ball, and that's really lucky. You don't see that often. You know, he's taking a big shot off number 17, Keelan Foster there, as Jack Martin, really solid hit, and the ball's come loose, and York have got away with it and got the ball back at the scrum.
Yeah, so it is Knights ball, scrum on the Hunslet 30. McShane and Harris combining again in centre field. They move the ball on to Tamatafa, and the Samoan player takes the tackle. Harris, Jack Martin again, getting some attention again from the Hunslet big men. It's Foster and Fletcher giving him a bit of a rattling around. But the Knights still in possession. McShane pumping those legs, and then Joe Law steps inside, going to score against one of his old sides. Joe Law, clever bit of footwork, ball shipped into him, and just put a little step on. Might have been Jesse D with the pass delivered to him, but Joe Law just stepped off that left foot and defeated the Hunslet defender out there. It's 14 points to 4. And we've had something in the region of 23 minutes here in the first half.
Yeah, the middle players doing the hard work. Like you were saying, Andy, Jack Martin there getting some real attention down the middle, but he obviously relishes that challenge. He's driving the ball and he's getting hit really hard. He's getting up, playing the ball. Really good wide shift there. Matarafa again turning up on the left-hand side to deliver that final pass to Joe Law, and he skipped inside and it managed to dive over. So, quality try, good movement again by York.
Yeah, so Joe Law goes on in 15 metres probably in from the left touchline, and I'm glad your eyesight's better than mine, and you did pick up that it was the debutant for the Knights who supplied that pass, Mick.
He's all over the field at the moment, actually. He's
yeah, he is.
really like him as a player, as a big, strong player, but he's obviously got a lot of skill. You know, like I say, we've only watched him for 30 minutes, but a little bit of a lapsidaisical pass, but we'll let him off on that one because he's done some really good stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Looks a real handful and a really good signing. Although, as Mick says, 24 minutes we've seen of him this afternoon. Liam Harris with the attempted conversion, right side for a right-footed kicker, which is the left side, if any of that makes any sense. And just eyeing the post at the moment. A bit of singing going on again down the stand at the far end. And Liam Harris is successful with that one, and the Knights lead goes to 16 points to 4 in the 10th round of the championship. And Liam Harris 2 out of 2 for the day, and 33 out of 46 for the season. Jack O'Neill just doing a bit of warming up down in front of us. Kick towards the touchline. Kieran Buchanan takes it in with a little bit of difficulty, sort of basketball catch somewhere over his head. Sam Cook already in at the play of the ball. Bandaged right arm for Sam Cook, a former Albi player. He'll be keeping a close eye on the French Elite League, see how his team go in the championship playoffs. 4 teams left in it down there. Carcassonne, I think, probably the favourites. One-handed pick up by Sam Cook. And then Jack Martin once more just rolling through the tackle. Very reminiscent of the way that Mark Applegarth, his coach, used to run the ball in. Always managed to find a twist in the tackle, did Applegarth.
Oh,
cracking kick from Liam Harris towards the touchline, but an even better catch from Mackenzie Skur, the winger. Just picked that ball out of the air beautifully when it looked as though it had the better of him. So Hunslet managed to retrieve the ball. They were in danger of being on the end of, well, I'm not sure whether it would have made the old 40-20, but it certainly had chances. Kieran Buchanan gets up slowly. Looks as though he might have taken a knock in the tackle as Hunslet move up towards halfway. Trailing 16 points to 4, the South Leeds side. Canberry. Ball hits the floor. A bit of tidying up by Craig Egerton, the full-back. And then the pass ends up in the possession of Jesse D. And he gets a big hug off the Hunslet player. And Scott Galliano, good work again in centre field. Quick play the ball. Knights are on a roll up the middle. Santi drives the ball on. Gets both feet lifted off the floor. Eventually manages to get some purchase on the turf as Jack Martin again. Great opening stint by Jack Martin, still out there in this heat, and still hungry for the ball.
He is.
Sam Cook's come off for the Knights, and there will be Jack O'Neill that's out there. I can't find him at the moment. It's Jordan Thompson in possession. Great ball into Santi. Great offload by Jordy Thompson. Knights still going. It is O'Neill now on the ball. He gets the offload. Mataafa straightens the ball up, still going. Oh, is that his first try for the Knights? Oh, what a handful. He had 3, 4 possibly Hunslet players trying to stop him getting over the try line, and he just too much strength. Good grief, Mick Ramsden, if that's what's to come from that man, Mataafa. What a try. Actually, it's gone up with Scott Galliano.
He had no right to score that try. He was held up, he was standing tall. Players defending, tackling him, and he managed to. He's very strong. He's turned and he's twisted, and he's got the ball down over the line. Just really good try. It all came from a couple of really good offloads as well. Jordan Thompson managed to make a bit of space and got a lovely ball back on the inside to keep the ball moving.
Yeah, I'll just roll it back a little bit further from that, Mix. I've been making notes after each try while you've been talking on almost every one of them. He's come off now, but I've put great work by Jack Martin.
Absolutely.
He's been a colossus in this first 27 minutes. He's got his breather now. He's come to the touchline, but what a stint by the Aussie. Kick to come from Liam Harris. He went up as Scott Galliano on the scoreboard. I'm sure it was Toa Mataafa that got over the try line. And I think it might have been corrected again. by the PA system, but Liam Harris is converting his 22 points to 4, and the Knights are very, very much in charge down here at the LNER in the sunshine on what is Mental Awareness Day down here. 22 points to 4 with Hunslet to restart again. They've just had that one little spot of joy when Kobe Nickel got in at the right corner. That ball bounces in front of Liam Harris and bounces as a ball should, let's say. Kieran Hudson now out there for the Knights. Good pack of forwards the Knights have got this season, 2025, and now they've got them all fit. Field and Jack O'Neill straight out of the play the ball. Hungry for the little scoot. Made about 5 metres before Hunslet met him. Harvey Alice now out there on the field for Hunslet. Just wending his way back in there. Jesse D. And then Brendan Santi again, who was one of the creators of that try. For we think Tamatafa. Harris drills the ball downfield in the direction of Kobe Nickel. Ball jags away from him, bounces one way, bounces the other. Crowd enjoyed that one. And that's how a rugby ball sometimes does bounce.
That makes it more interesting, Andy.
Yeah, it's the corners that do it. Hunslet centre field, 35 from their own line, trailing 22-4. Here in the championship. Put a good shift in against Widnes last week, but came up short. I think the big tackle on might have been Harrison Gilmore that spilled the ball.
Max Shane there, putting his body on the line there, straight into Gilmore.
Yeah, it was Ethan O'Hanlon, the Irish player, that spilled the ball in the tackle. The Knights once more able to pressurise this Hunslet line. O'Neill into Thompson. Thompson waits the ball and just drives straight and hard into the 20. Kieran Hudson chips the ball on to Harris. Harris with Tamatafa arriving. Kieran Buchanan takes on Billy Jowett, but Jowett affects the tackle 5 metres out. Ben Jones Bishop. And then Harris pokes the little kick through, bouncing awkwardly for the Hunslet defence, but good attention to detail there by the defender. Just picked the ball out of the air. It may well have been Greg Eden. Looks as though he's taken a knock in the tackle as well, crumpled to the ground at the moment. Apologies if we're struggling a little bit, recognise 1 or 2 players. It's so glary down here today, that's my excuse anyway, mate. 22-4, you're listening to BBC Radio York. All our frequencies and online following the Knights a little bit later because of the Valkyries semi-final. Sadly, they went down to defeat against St Helens. So no Wembley final again for Lindsay Anfield's side this season. And St Helens roll on. They're looking for to win it 5 times, but I think Wigan in the final might have something to say about that kick downfield. Ben Jones Bishop. 2 tries already in this game, just reverses and then almost went through the tackle there of Harrison Gilmore. He just did about hang on to his ankles. The Knights with plenty of wind in their sails. Here's Ollie Field again. Everybody just wants that ball, Mick.
They do. Hunslet are fading. There's such a big difference in the two packs in particular.
Yep.
Come back to that in a second.
Yeah, particularly noticeable as well since Fletcher and Foster went off.
Yeah.
They made an impact early doors, but they look a bit fluffy
they look
at
bulky.
the moment. Yep.
And it's hard in the heat.
Yep. Paul McShane, ball into Santi. Foot just slipped away from him there as he tried to change direction, but nonetheless rumbles the ball to within about 12, in front of the stick. Still a couple of tackles in the bag. O'Neill feints to go one way, goes back the other. And manages the offload. Little flick pass from Brendan Santi, bit of basketball going on, and then Paul McShane knocks on as he receives the ball somewhat unexpectedly from a bit of hot potato rugby for the Knights. He won't be happy about that, Paul McShane. Somebody be getting a blast in the rear.
And neither will Mark Applegarth. I know Jack O'Neill, he's come on and he's wanted to make an impression, but he's running down a bit of a blind alley there, tried to create something, went one way, came back the other, and then passed the ball to a player that was in the worst position, and it went from there. McShane ended up dropping it, and it's not what they want to be doing. Yeah, they've been better promoting the ball just down the regulation channel on the right side there. Can't disagree with you, Mick. Mick Ramsden with us today in the summarisers seat. Great to have him alongside as Hunslet tried to clear their lines again. They trail 22 points to 4 at the moment. Gaskell trying to fashion something. Plenty of experience. Jordan Syme now added to the equation for Hunslet, player who was integral in that promotion from League One last season, that unlikely promotion, affected eventually in the playoff game against Swinton. And Hunslet were good value for that day. Number of players moved on since then, and obviously new players having come in. Kicked by Lachlan Hannigan, in behind the Knights' defence. Ball skips towards the touchline on the far side. Picked up by Tamatafa, and he resists the temptation to fling the pass this time and takes the tackle. Even though he had Scott Galliano, his fellow Antipodean, available to him. Paul McShane, just that calm authority that he strides up to the ball with. Here's Joe Lowe, got the Knights' latest try. McShane again. Plenty of options for the Knights. They go to Galliano. Opinion that Hunslet might be offside from just behind us. Gentleman clears his throat. Is that Jake Gannon out there in the action? On the far side. No, it was Jesse D with the run. Oh, and then a bit of a steepling kick from McShane that hangs his head in shame, Paul McShane. And yes, that was me, he says. Ball just drifted directly into touch, just didn't get hold of it, did he, Mick? No. It was, in the words of, and I'm reading two books about him at the moment, in the words of one of my heroes, Eddie Waring, it was the oop and under. And then a hit by Jordan Thompson that's penalised. But too much, possibly shoulder in that. We'll see what is Aaron Belafonte, the referee, going to give us a head-eye shot. Thank you, referee. Hannigan puts the ball into touch. Hunslet get the ball on the Knights 40. 5 minutes to the break. And of course, we're behind all the other games in the championship today. I'm just trying to think about it, but I think we probably have full times from all the others at half-time in this one. Gaskell to Harvey Hallis. Spent some time at Keighley before there's an absolute raft of players moved out of Keighley. Oh. Hannigan again, injecting a bit of pace, moving the ball onto the far side. Wellham disappears down under the tackle. Hunslet still in possession, but they were in possession until somebody flung Kevin Leroy a pass that he didn't really react to. And the ball goes to ground. Spent some time with Lee as well, Kevin Leroy, and the Knights have faced him on any number of occasions. I remember a tussle between him and Josh Tonks down in Toulouse, where every time Leroy hit Josh Tonks, he got penalised, and every time Josh Tonks tapped the ball, he ran the ball at Leroy, and it went on ad infinitum. Jack O'Neill to Ben Jones-Bishop. 2 tries early for Ben Jones-Bishop. Every chance of a hat-trick. 8 came in the first 11 minutes. He's not scored for the last 30-odd. 20-odd. More advice from the main stand. From the refereeing coach. Jack O'Neill. Now it's just short of halfway. Brendan Santee just
Ducks that head again and drives in. Liam O'Hanlon just about managed to get enough purchase on him to stop him. Liam Harris crossfield kick. Bounces away from Kobe Nickel. That bounce is dead. Looked for a second as though that ball was going to cause Hunslet's defence real problems, but it's given them a 7-tackle set from the 20. 2 minutes 51. The clock shows to the break.
Some of these big lads will be suffering in this now.
Certainly will.
I said earlier on, it's perfect for rugby, and I believe it is, because I always thought summer rugby was the best thing that ever happened to the game, but it is very, very difficult to play in these conditions, and you have to prepare well. It's really hard going, and you go through a little bit of, well, a lot of discomfort.
You just got to suck some air on board whenever you can, haven't you, Mick?
Yeah.
When you're running back into that defensive line. Backpedaling, Syme into Greg Eden, just a little drop-off ball into Harvey Hallis. He rumbles it into the Knights 30. Left side of the attack. Syme's going to go short side. Gaskell goes that way. Cut out pass. Jowett into Skur. Ball back inside. Think Gaskell's going to score. Looked like a good bit of work there by Hunslet. Sharp work. Cracking bit of work from Mackenzie Skur before he stepped into touch to get that ball back in field. And Lee Gaskell, who started the move, finished the move. And Hunslet strike back. And they've scored that one just before half-time. And certainly needed that, did the South Leeds side.
I think the York side look a bit shocked by that. It's like Lee Gaskell, an experienced player. He don't give up on anything, and showed it there to follow back. He gave the ball to
Jowett. Went to Billy Jowett.
Billy Jowett, yeah, and then he hit the winger. And then he just followed it round. He followed it round and took a pass on the inside, and the York defence kind of just stood in disbelief.
Yeah, some nice feet on Mackenzie Skur there, not to get pushed into touch.
Mackenzie Skur, yeah.
And to flip that ball back inside. And as you say, good half back. He follows the play, and that's what Lee Gaskell did, and he was able to step in from around about 13 metres out. And adds to his career points tally. Kick to come from Billy Jowett. And a chance for Hunslet to reduce the arrears to 12.
Which is, unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, the Knights have been much the better side. Billy Jowett still waiting, getting the bird from the fans who think he's taking too long about it. He'll take as long as he wants, and then makes a horrible hash of it, and his kick at the kicking tee was better than his kick at the ball, as it shanks past excuse me, shanks past the left-hand post. The hooter goes. That is half-time, and it's been a largely successful half for the Knights, Mick. Certainly in an attacking capacity, but those 2 tries they've conceded will irritate Mark Applegarth, won't they?
Yeah, it was just like the first one with the winger just bumped off Joe Law and got over in the corner, and this try just now really was a bit, I don't know, did the Knights defence switch off maybe a little bit? Just didn't expect Gaskell to come back round on the inside and collect the ball. So really, I mean, yeah, 22-8. They're well worth the scoreline of York today. They haven't been perfect, but they've certainly scored some excellent tries.
Yeah, just watching the officials disappear up the tunnel, I've got to make mention of him, and you played with him. Cal Hughes, who's a former York Knights player and now in the ranks of officialdom and running the line today. He was in charge of the Yorkshire-Lancashire Origin Academy game yesterday, and he was a busy little player, Cal Hughes. He was nuggety, wasn't he, out of hooker, and a good career at Featherstone, and then had a bit of time, couple of seasons with the Knights.
He did. He was a good player, Cal. I really like playing with him. And I didn't even know he was doing that, actually. It's interesting. That's good.
Yeah. I had a quick chat to him before the game. Yeah, top lad.
Yeah,
really is. Right, quickly through the action of the first half. Knights got on the board after 7 minutes. Kobe Nickel dropped a high steepling ball. The Knights worked the ball to the right, and Liam Harris's floated pass found Ben Jones-Bishop. He went in at the right corner for his 8th try of the season. Liam Harris converted a beauty off the touchline. 4 minutes later, they repeated the dose after some great work by Jack Martin. Harris once more found Ben Jones-Bishop. Too much pace, too much space on the right right side, went in at the corner for try number 9 of the season for Ben Jones Bishop in a York shirt. Hunslet struck back though. That was 16 minutes in, and it was a Sam Cook error, dropped the ball from the restart, and eventually Hunslet got the ball over onto the right side, and they got Kobe Nicol, the right winger, in at the right corner with shuffled through the attempted tackler, Scott Galliano. 23 minutes, and Joe Law took the ball from, I thought it was Jesse D, but I think Mick was probably on the money from the debutant, Tamatafa. After, again, some good work from Jack Martin, went in for the try. Liam Harris converted that one. We then had Jack Martin again leading from the front, getting the Knights into position. Some lovely offloads from Jordan Thompson and Brendan Santee for the Knights to ease in again through. I didn't write it down, but we think it was Tamatafa that got that try, although the scoreboard did go showing Scott Galliano, but we think it was the Samoan players' debut try for the Knights. That was 22-4 after Liam Harris converted. And then right on the stroke of half-time, Hunslet hit back again, all orchestrated by Lee Gaskell down the left side. Found Billy Jowett, his pass to Mackenzie Skerr, hugging the touchline, and some great work from the left winger, got the ball back inside. And Lee Gaskell went over, but it was a bit of a horrible show of an attempted conversion from Billy Jowett. So at half-time, here at the LNER, the Knights in charge, but Hunslet certainly still battling away out there in the heat. It is York Knights 22, Hunslet 8, and we'll hand you back to James Hogarth in the studio. match. We are back underway, and a massive shot just came in there on Liam O'Hanlon, the Hunslet player, as he tried to advance the ball out the 10. Ball was rifled downfield from the kickoff by Liam Harris. And Hunslet, with the hard work, trailing 22 points to 8 at the moment. The Knights putting some big shots in. They've come out hungry in this second half. This York Knights forward pack. Hunslet finding a bit of space out on that left side. Just have a look at Liam Wellham's legs in a minute, Mick. I want to ask you this curious sort of appendages he's got and what they actually do on his legs.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. Tendinitis, it's patella tendinitis problems.
As Gaskell's kick finds touch over in the lee of the West Stand. Signalled by the touch judge, and it should be, I think, Knights ball.
But I'm no physio, Andy, but I've seen it before. I've had it myself. It's when you got patella tendon problem just below your kneecap.
Yeah.
The tape kind of puts a bit of compression on it, and it can ease the pain.
Yeah, he's got his socks around his ankles and two
yeah.
bits of white tape just below the knee, and I've never seen that before, so I just wondered what it was about. But Dr. Michael Ramsden has come up with the goods.
What is unusual is to have it in both of his legs.
Yeah.
Both knees.
Or maybe he's not sure which one it's in. Knights in possession at the moment. They lead 22 points to 8. If you've joined us since the start of the game, I'll quickly run through the two sides. The Knights, Tamatafa, full-back, Ben Jones-Bishop, Kieran Buchanan, Joe Law and Scott Galliano. In the backs, Paul McShane, Liam Harris in the halves. Starting forwards, Jack Martin, Sam Akumatai, Jesse D, Oliver Field and Jody Thompson off the bench. Shaq O'Neill, Brendan Santi, Jake Gannon and Kieran Hudson. I think possibly just Jake Gannon we've not seen. Let's have a look where we are. Now it's just short of the 40. Floaty pass into Jesse D. The former Mackay Cutter still going. It's a mazy wending run. Gets him up halfway. Had the arm free to pass to the supporting player, and then it's a horrible dog's dinner of a play the ball, and Kevin Leroya and Jesse D exchanging words, and then Jack O'Neill wants his 10 penneth in there as well. So quickly down the Hunslet side, Greg Eden at fullback, Kobe Nicol, Liam Wellham, Billy Jowett, Mackenzie Skerr, Lachlan Hannigan and Lee Gaskell, the halves. Starting forwards, Matt Fletcher, Cam Berry, Keelan Foster, Harrison Gilmore, Kevin Leroya, Kobe Ruglas. At loose forward, and off the bench, Harvey Alice, Jordan Syme, Ethan O'Hanlon and Sam Webb-Campbell. I don't think we've seen Sam Webb-Campbell yet. Referee Aaron Belafonte. 22 points to 8 to the Knights. BBC Radio York, all our frequencies and online. Here comes Greg Eden. Formerly with Castleford, Hull Kingston Rovers, Halifax, Featherstone. Spent a bit of time out at Brisbane, although I don't actually think he played an NRL game for the Broncos. I might be wrong there. Jordan Syme at the play the ball, seems to be the interchange hooker despite the 13 on his vest, and then Ethan O'Hanlon, former Bradford and North Wales Crusaders player, drives the ball up. Hunslet, first real foray into Knights territory, trailing 22-8 as the Hunslet player slips to the floor. The Knights have been penalised for, I think, a penalty there, but that was an odd one, Mick, because the Hunslet player had lost his footing as he went in. It was difficult to see what contact was made, but it certainly produced a flare-up with all 26 players on a postage stamp at the moment. The assistant referee there, touch judges dancing around the outside like the Buffalo Girls. He's a big fella, is Aaron Belafonte. He's not bothered about getting stuck in the middle of it all, is he?
He's not.
He's in there directing traffic. Good lad. And he'll sort it out. But he'd already awarded the penalty to Hunslet when the flare-up came. Two sides are pulled apart now. Liam Harris is giving his opinion. He's now being dragged away to the referee, as is Billy Jowett, in, I suspect, his capacity as skipper in the absence of Matt Fletcher. Conversation going on. Aaron Belafonte explaining what he saw, which was altogether 50 metres closer than what Mick Ramsden and I saw.
Yeah, I can't add to what you're saying, Andy. It was all a bit players in the way.
No, I saw the Hunslet players go to change direction, slipped, and then went to ground. And I don't think he's changed his mind about the penalty, and I don't think he's decided he's going to put anybody in the bin. And he didn't indicate that it was on report. But Hunslet with a chance. Trail 22-8 at the moment. 10th round of the championship. BBC Radio York, all-out frequencies and online, following the Knights. That big 1895 Cup semi-final down here next Sunday against Bradford Bulls for a place at Wembley. Lachlan Hannigan tries to work his way through a little gap, and I think the Knights have been penalised again, this time for the tip tackle on Lachlan O'Hannigan. So at the moment the Knights really giving Hunslet a chance. 2 penalties in a row normally leads to a score. Will the South Leeds side be good enough to profit from it? And then
that would be
just the most horrible play the ball by O'Hanlon and Jordan Syme, and all that well, I wouldn't say beneficial work that Hunslet put in, it was more detrimental work the Knights put in, Mick, that gave Hunslet the chance, has been spurned by a very scruffy play the ball.
He didn't even really get the ball anywhere near his feet. He just lost control of it as he stood up. Tiredness.
I think so. Fatigue, big fella, fatigue.
He's a big fella, and every time there's a set or Hanlon is taking the ball up, and he's a big lad. I don't know, he must be 18, 19 stone, and
So the Knights are back in possession. They still lead as they did at half-time, 22 points to 8. That first half featuring a debut try for Tamatafa, try for Joe Law, and 2 tries for Ben Jones-Bishop. Good drive, great drive, brilliant work in centre field. Scott Galliano again. Get onside! And then Tamatafa takes the Knights into Hunslet territory. Straight up the middle, Johnny Thompson. On the last. Right side the attack, Liam Harris sloughs a little kick over the top. Greg Eden motions to get underneath it. The Knights wait conveniently until he takes the ball in and then make the tackle. Now, has he dropped the ball? I think that ball may have come out of Greg Eden's possession as the Knights got there. Absolutely. Yeah, again, as I say, not easy to see over there where the shadow of the West Stand is, but handling error by the Hunslet fullback.
Good chase over by the right side defence. Good pick, on the point kick from Liam Harris. Tacklers met the ball carrier straight away as soon as he caught it, and created a mistake.
Yeah, I think one of the Hunslet interchanges walking down the touchline has just been given the chance in the corners. Ben Jones-Bishop got his hat-trick, rolls in, and we will wait to confirm the try scorer, but I think it's Ben Jones-Bishop. Ball promoted onto the right side. And the Knights have scored again.
Yeah, good try. He had to work a bit. He had to beat the man coming across, but took it well.
It is a hat-trick for Ben Jones-Bishop. It's 26 points to 8, 10 tries this season.
That's what he's there to do.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a deadly finisher, isn't he?
He really is. He gets half an opportunity and he'll take it.
Yeah, Ben Jones-Bishop for the Knights. We've had 9 minutes of the second half. The lead goes out to 26 points to 8. And now, I was saying, as Ben Jones-Bishop was herring into the right corner, the Knights fans down the main stand away to our right were giving one of the Hunslet interchanges the bird, whether he'd made a signal at them or something, but it kept them entertained anyway. Jack Martin's just having an impromptu shower down in front of us with the old squirty bottle above his head. There'll be nobody getting a drink out of that one, it's all gone.
He's dying to get on, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, the great first half. And Harris to attempt the conversion out to the shadows. Pretty tight to the touchline on the far side. Mark Applegarth looks fairly happy at the moment. He's got his hands jammed in his pockets. Liam Harris, chance, missed on the right side. It remains 26-8. As Jessie D gets a bit of suntan lotion or a bit of deodorant from the Knights physio, or maybe something he's put on his hands. What's this thing that Grace Field was talking about in the Valkyrie game? Something about drinking pickle juice during the game, Mick. Have you ever heard of that one?
Never heard of that one.
No.
Pickle juice?
Pickle juice, yeah.
So it must be some sort of hydration thing.
I presume so. She said it's hideous to drink, but apparently it has some beneficial qualities.
All right.
But
sounds like a bit of witchcraft involved.
Yeah, whether that's after you've eaten all the onions, I don't know. Or maybe you tip them in as well. The crowd intake of breath was Paul McShane juggling the ball as he caught the restart, but he did manage to take it back in, and then the Knights have a penalty. And I think it's could be Kieran Hudson that's suffered a little knock in that tackle.
You know, we haven't done so much today, but we do talk about Jordan Thompson a lot and in games, because he's just phenomenal, isn't he? And he's out there, it's red hot, and he doesn't need a break, and he just keeps going and going, doesn't he?
I left the stadium the other week. I don't know whether I mentioned it or not. I left the stadium after the game. He'd played 80 minutes in the middle on what was another warm day. And as I walked and put my cases into the car, he was in the kids' playground with his kids on the slide and stuff.
Yeah,
I thought, good grief.
That's just
fabulous.
Rugby league players through and through, innit? Down to earth.
Yeah.
Fantastic athletes. And then they go and have to do that, and they love it. It's great.
Yeah. Currently a man that absolutely loves his life, Jordy Thompson, and you can tell. Knights are close again. They've got to within 10 out there. Liam Harris trying to works a little run around with Santi. Oh, what a pass! Scott Galliano for the line! Has he got that ball down? Touch judge says yes. Referee says yes. We all say yes! Scott Galliano. And it was once more one of Liam Harris's passes. He must have had a slide rule on that, Mick. I mean, it just did float over the outstretched fingers of Kobe Nickel and straight into the hands of Scott Galliano. He got low and he slithered his way over the line, and the Knights score again on 53 minutes. 2 tries in 4 minutes for the Knights. It is 30 points to 8. Scott Galliano with his latest try in Knights colours.
I'm sure that ball was in the air for 5 seconds.
Seventh try of the season for Scott Galliano, another man who doesn't seem to have played many games.
He was smart though, because Galliano, he kind of fell towards the line, and when he landed, he didn't make the double movement. He just held his position and waited for the referee just to check that the ball was on the line. But it must have been really close, but he was on the line of the try.
Yeah, touch judge was sure.
Any slight movement there, it could have been given as a double movement.
Yep, Ethan O'Hanlon's come off for Hunslet. They trail 30 points to 8. BBC Radio York. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch, you can tweet us. Start your message with the word York, 81333. You can, no, that's text us. 81333, start your message with the word York. Tweet us at BBC York Sport, or on the WhatsApp. Again, start your message with the word York, 08321 Be good to hear from you. Hello to Ollie Miller. He's sunning himself in Ibiza. I've got news for you, Ollie. You've paid a lot of money to go to Ibiza, and it's hotter here, is that in the LNER? Sorry, mate. Enjoy your holidays. Ollie Miller. Here's Liam Harris trying to convert. 7 metres by the Liam Harris slide rule in from the touchline. He was in good mood, was Liam. I sat talking to him for 10-15 minutes, about an hour before kick-off, and confident mood as well. I should have given him a few tips on his goal kicking though, because that one's missed by about 5 metres on the left side. And the poor old kicking tee copped it again then, did you see, Mick? I'd say the poor old kicking tee copped it again then.
Yeah.
It's always the kicking tee's fault, never the kicker. That's Ngannou down in front of us. He's hiding today under his baseball cap. He's
Jack Martin back on.
Yeah, that's not good news for Hunslet, is it? If you're a forward and you know you see him come back on, you must think, oh no.
Oh no, he's not. He's here. Sorry, my mistake.
You're right. He's down
Sorry,
in front of us.
Apologies.
I hadn't looked up and double-checked, Nick. I trust you, say.
Yeah, I thought I'd just seen him go, and he hadn't. He won't be long though. 25 minutes left.
Jack O'Neill. Jake Gannon's out there now. I can tell you that. Former Lee Warrington player. His side, of course, it's two former sides in action in the semi-final over at St Helens. It was 14-4 to Warrington last time I looked. Joe Law in danger of being carried into touch.
Why not kill him? You can't do that!
Yeah, it did look a little bit dangerous. They certainly got him onto the horizontal. Joe Law managed to stay in the field of play. He chucked the anchor out, didn't he, Mick? And just managed to hang on in there. O'Neill, back to Harris. Harris lofts the kick. Steepler, that's going to test Greg Eden. And he took it very well. Hunslet back in possession, trail 30 points to 8. Hat-trick for Ben Jones-Bishop. Debut try for Tamatafa for the Knights. Jack Martin, prowling. Brendan Santi, prowling. Sam Cook, prowling. Let us back on. Mark Applegarth with his back turned to him at the moment. He's not going to engage him. Hunslet in possession. 32 from their own line. Jordan Syme. Still trying to direct his side forward. Formerly with Halifax and Rochdale's had about 4 seasons with Hunslet now. As I say, part of that promotion side. Great to see Hunslet back in the championship, isn't it, Mick?
It is, and it's going to be hard for them to stay in it, unfortunately.
I do have a soft spot for them, but despite the fact that they were bitter rivals over a long period. But a great little club.
Yeah. We were hoping to meet Steve Price today. He was going to come over. You know, Steve Price played for both York and he was a legend at Hunslet, certainly. Yeah. And, he was unable to make it today, but I don't know if he'd be listening, but call out to Steve, good friend of ours.
You'll miss his vocal talents today. He'd certainly have a notice. Reading Sam, Liam Harris goes through the defence. Craig Eden sits down and watches him go past. That was like a man sat on the station watching the through train. Poor old Greg Eden. He never even got a shot in at Liam Harris. He went one way, went the other way from about 22, 23 metres out. And just waved goodbye to the Hunslet defence, 34 points to 8. And the skip once more puts himself into one of the pole positions for a man of the match. But just a weaving run that Hunslet just couldn't cope with. The Ghost in full flow. 57 gone. And this game now getting harder and harder for the South Leeds side. It is 34-8, kick to come. Liam Harris almost in front of the post. Kieran Hudson comes off. The big man is back, Akumatai. Yeah, I was saying about Stevie Price, he loves the song, doesn't he? He loves an Otis Redding song.
Real character of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got a good voice on him.
Yep.
I've seen him sing many times over the years. And
originally from Queensbury, if I'm right. Mick?
Queensbury, up around that area.
Up on top of hill.
Yeah, good guy. Steve miss him today. A few of the lads have got together. They're up and about at the moment, and Steve couldn't make it, unfortunately, but maybe next time.
Yeah. Well, we wish the big man all the best, Steve Price, if you're listening in. Successful kick from Liam Harris, 36-8. The Knights are up to the score they achieved last week. And I think there might be a bit more to come today without wishing the worst on Hunslet.
Number 7, Liam Harris, sponsored by the Mobile Shop, and just goes to the Knights 36, Hunslet 8.
Yeah, you were saying about man of the match, and I was thinking, because I know you asked me, and it's always very difficult today, but Liam Harris has put himself in there, but we've not seen Jack Martin come back on yet.
No.
He's the only one that could probably prize it from Liam Harris's grasp.
Yeah, and then you're talking about a man who's got a hat-trick. You've not even mentioned him.
I know, and that's the thing. Often you look at it and you think, well, he's got 3 tries, he should be man of the match.
Hunslet gone for the short kick-off, and I think Greg Eden's got himself on the end of it. Sorry to interrupt you, Mick.
Right.
So, Hunslet back in possession from that short spinning kick-off. And with a chance to strike back, Sam Webb-Campbell is now out there, the former Halifax player. They go left, they go through Gaskell, spins the ball out, and then ball spilt. Liam Harris picks the ball up. Initially looked as though he might get away for an 80-metre gallop, but Hunslet closed him down very quickly. And Hunslet won't let him up. So that's a penalty conceded. What point did they drop the Hawks? They were Hunslet Hawks at one time, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Andy.
I remember when Pete Miller used to do the Norris the Night mascot duties, and I remember him coming out at the Rydale Stadium one day with a budgie in a cage, and they played the Birdie song as Hunslet ran out.
Really?
There were recriminations afterwards. It didn't go down well. Here's Joe Law down the left side, stays in field by about 2 metres. Touch judge right there, Carl Hughes. Here's Jesse D. He's not got on the scoreboard today. He didn't last week against Broncos, but he came very close. And the 2 starting props for Hunslet about to be reintroduced. They'll bolster things a bit. Matt Fletcher and Keelan Foster. And the Knights on the run again over there on the far side. Get to within, it was Ollie Field, gets to within 10. Ball coming left, McShane into Joe Law, tries to ease between 2 players, keeps the ball alive, McShane, Galliano walking at the left corner. Fabulous hands, Joe Law and Paul McShane. How they managed to keep that ball alive, I'm not sure. First of all, Joe Law realised Paul McShane was behind him, shoved the ball out of the tackle. Paul McShane gathered it up, and within an instant, he knew Scott Galliano was just to his left. And the Australian gets his 2nd try of the game.
Yeah, good skill. All that work in training, working on bad hands drill where they'll throw objects at each other randomly and have to catch. It's all about the game. Good hands, and it just showed there. Joe Law slipping a lovely ball out to McShane, who had to work to catch it first of all before delivering to Galliano in the corner. Brilliant skill.
Yeah, Law and McShane. I think I might have said that was Scott Galliano's 2nd try of the game. I'll have to have a look back. I think it might have been his first. Anyway, Liam Harris has got to convert. The Knights lead 40 points to 8. And I've just checked back, and I've just had it confirmed in my ear. It's his 2nd try of the game, the Aussie. And I'll give you his tally up to now for the season. He's up to 8. It's a big chase for leading try scorer this season, because Liam Harris is out there with 11 at the moment, well, 12 with that one he's just scored today. It's hard to keep track, Mick. Kick to come from Liam Harris. 40 points to 8. BBC Radio York.
This will be an important kick for
Knights.
Liam Harris to make up for the last one. It's similar place, maybe a bit further out.
Yep, 62 minutes gone. Long afternoon in the sun for this Hunslet side. This is turning into. Liam Harris, a metre in from the touchline. It's got a chance, but it's missed on the left.
Oh, it's not far off.
They've given it.
They've given it?
Yeah, I'm sure I saw the flags go up.
They were close on, certainly on the far side. I reckon he will have put his flag up, but the touchy on the near, where the almost went over the top of the post.
42 points to 8.
There we go.
What's that term, Mick? Have a look at the scoreboard.
To be fair, it was hard for the touchy on this side, though.
Yeah.
It was like, it looked almost over the post.
I should make an appointment this week with that well-known brand of eyewear people. I think the Knights have regained this attempted short kick-off. There's some heat in that sun today. There really is. Forecast for a while too, this weather.
Yeah.
Sam Cook back out for the Knights. And Jake Gannon and Hunslet are offside. They're just nothing going for them, is there, Mick? You know, Dean Muir's side now. Liam Harris bangs a long, long kick into touch, and the Knights are going to start from 20 out. McShane to Harris, Harris to Thompson, still out there. You'd have thought they'd have brought the old war horse off by now, wouldn't you? He probably just says, I'm not coming off.
I mean, it's the big game next week as well. You think they might just give him a bit of a break.
Yeah, there's Jake Gannon trying to find a little gap. Recent news is brother Morgan Gannon going to the NRL from Leeds. Harris tight to the touchline. Oh, Matafa's just wound his way in through Hunslet defenders out there. There was some really poor defensive tackling, and Toa Matafa gets his second try of the game, and it is 46 points to 8.
No stopping him there, he's up.
No, far too strong, and you can't tackle like that. I mean, again, we're in the shadows of the stand, and it's not easy to pick out what's happening, but the Hunslet defenders looked as though they went far too high on Matafa, and he's in on the right side. And it's been a good debut for the man from Lesignan.
Been relatively quiet in this half. Probably that's the first time we've really seen him, but he looked like he'd accelerated with the ball in hand. He looks like a real handful when he gets going.
Yep. Well, they're both the same. They're both very of a similar ilk. Scott Galliano's the same. He just, you know, when you think a lot of players had sort of put the brakes on, he's still pumping away and trying to gain that, what might be an absolutely vital extra 2 or 3 metres. Here he comes, Johnny Thompson.
He's been great, hasn't he?
The sheep hook has arrived for Johnny Thompson. He comes across to his coach. He's going to avoid his coach. Oh, no, he's not, no. They have a cuddle. Big smile on his face. He probably said, sorry, Geordie. And Jack Martin goes out to replace him. Johnny Thompson, big smile on his face as ever. What a signing. What a signing. If you believe the legend, the myth, it cost James Ford about the price of about 4 pints to get him to the York Knights. He said if I could get him in the pub and get a few pints down him, I knew he'd sign for us.
He's been one of the best middles.
I don't know whether it's true. Yeah, that's Ford's story.
If it's true, I mean, you know, that's definitely the best four pints that anybody had ever bought.
Yeah, and of course he replaced Tim Spears, who you know, they were hunk out. They were hewn out of the same hunk of granite, weren't they?
Without a doubt. So both of them have been excellent on them.
Liam Harris misses with the attempted conversion, and it remains 46 points to 8.
When you look at some of the best props that York's had for years and years, the difference is like with Tim Spears, and when I talk about props, I talk about middle players. When they play loose forward, it's middle now these days, and they play down the middle, don't they? But both Jordan Thompson and Tim Spears both had great hands. They've both got great hands, and when you look at some of the other props over the years, they just were never as skillful as what these lads are.
Yeah. The thing about Spearsy, they were different in one way. The thing about Spearsy was he led by example, and if somebody was coming up short, they'd get the hairdryer treatment in no uncertain terms. Whereas Jordy Thompson goes about his game in a sort of quieter way, but still just leads by example. And here's another man, Jack Martin. Big stint in the first half, back out there with the carry again. Former Wynnum Manly Seagulls player. Been a great signing for the Knights. He has a bit of a Midas touch, hasn't he, Clint? Good child in picking these Australian players up. They've been very good. Here's another one, Jesse D.
He's played well today, Jesse D.
Yeah, he's just solid, isn't he? Very solid in everything he does. Oh, I've forgotten to mention it today as well. Hello to our Australian listeners. Good to have you with us. And I wonder what the weather's like down there, because it's glorious hot sunshine here at the LNER. It's Bondi Beach stuff. Kick through from Paul McShane, beautifully measured, and Greg Eden under pressure, throws a pass. Dear me, and I think the Hunslet player's going to end up back over his own try line. Greg Eden, what were you thinking about? through the pass. Poor old Kobe Nickel didn't have a prayer. I hope he's getting an apology. The Knights just got 3 men under him and forced him back over his own try line. That was just the pass you didn't want him, Mick.
No, he tried hard though, didn't he?
He
did his best to get over the line, but he's walking away shaking his head. And
I'm not surprised. I don't want it while you're having it. Lee Gaskell goes for the short dropout again, which sails straight into touch. I mean, you look round the Hunslet side, you'd have to say probably one of the two big men up front have been the pick of them, probably Keelan Foster for that early stint, but
yeah,
they've really struggled to stem the tide today, this Knights side. Here's Jack Martin, gets the ball from Sam Cook, left of the post. Hunslet get enough troops there. Sam Cook again, goes the other way. Max Shane interjects onto his half-back partner, then Ollie Field wends his way in. Gets to within 5, just to the right of the sticks. The Knights lead 46-8. Can they bring up the 50? Oh, and it's a Kumatai battering his way towards the line. Brought down just short. Sam Cook looks round again. I wouldn't put it past Sam Cook. Go on his own, Max Shane. Oh, Paul Max Shane, but
obstruction.
Yeah, obstruction. Paul Max Shane adjudged to have gone around behind his own player, called by referee Belafonte. Paul Max Shane, I don't think he agrees, but he's got a bit of a smile on his face.
He ran into Jesse D and he went down like really, really fast. Now whether he's just used a bit of our ball this on D.
Great catch from the gentleman behind us. That's what the cheer was for. It was just over the back of mine, and Mick said. But yeah, Paul McShane denied a try that his efforts would have deserved. And Hunslet are back in possession. We have 9 minutes, well, almost 10 minutes. 46-8. Will the Knights bring the 50 up? Nice bit of work there by the Hunslet player, Sam Campbell. Although some of it quite lateral, but gets Hunslet over halfway. Canberry ships the ball onto the left side. As they look for a consolation. As I say, long day in the sun. Ball goes loose, picked up by Jesse D.
Yeah, earlier on I mentioned about the difference in the packs between York and Hunslet pack. There is a noticeable difference in like the athleticism of the York pack.
Yeah.
They're big and strong, and they've got, you know, they can really pile in when they set the ball up and the leg drive and everything, and they don't stop. But the Hunslet pack, they look out of shape to me. They don't look fit. And and certainly when they take the ball close to the ruck, the York pack are just squaring up to them and smashing them.
Can I tell you the other gulf as well, Mick? Threat. The amount of threat the Knights pose.
Loads, yeah.
It just comes from everywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas Hunslet, they've been restricted largely to Lee Gaskell trying to fashion them something.
Absolutely.
There's Paul McShane. The Knights are within 10. He goes short side, that familiar short side move. Joe Law gets the ball out again, back to McShane. He's trying to swat off Kobe Nickel. Kobe Nickel's not going to be swatted off. Good work by the young man. Kept stuck in there on the last. Sam Cook thinks about it, goes to Harris. Harris puts the kick in behind the Hunslet defence. Mackenzie Skur gets the ball. He'll do well to get out of there, Mick. He's going to be pinned in behind his own try line. Clever kick from Liam Harris. Nice angle he picked.
Yeah. Max Shane's actually just saying to Joe Law, just be a bit selective with your offloads here. Yeah, great, he offloads, great, but sometimes Max Shane had to really work there. He got hit as soon as he took the ball off him, but I think Joe Law's just accepted that and smiled back at him.
Yeah, it's a learning curve for players like Joe Law, and where do they learn from, Mick? They learn from players like Paul McShane.
Yeah.
Gaskell, short attempted drop out again. Knights have got the ball. Nice bit of flicking back, I think, from Ben Jones-Bishop. He sort of juggled the ball and flicked it back in the direction of a Knights teammate in the former Kieran Buchanan. Oh, I don't think I've mentioned much in this second half. And Jake Gannon keeps the ball alive. Akumatai, go on, big man. And as he rumbles, oh, he's got there! Akumatai took the Hunslet line on. They tried to get men underneath him. Matty Fletcher was one of them, tried to get underneath him. Keelan Foster, he was taking the biggest of the Hunslet pack on. But the former New Zealand Warrior Huddersfield Giant has got him for the try. And the Knights fans will enjoy that as much as any try they've watched today, Mick.
Yeah,
he's such a favourite down here, isn't he?
Yep, yeah, great. Really good, yeah, the fans love that. Hard to stop, innit, even that when you're close to the line like that.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. Big unit, and still has a real appetite for the game, Akumatai, and a lovely fella if you speak to him off the field as well. So the Knights do strike 50. It's 50 points to 8 in the sun at the LNER, with the kick to come from Liam Harris. You'll remember a time when if the Knights got 50 at the old Rydale, they used to play a Wi-Fi vote, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Who was in charge of the music in them days? I think he's sat not too far away from us.
Yeah, he is, Gary Hall, yeah.
Yeah, he had interesting choice of music in them days.
Yeah. And Norris the Night Dance in the can-can.
Yeah.
The good old days. 52 points to 8 as Liam Harris pots the conversion. And Hunslet will remain on those 2 points they have. And the Knights will go to 12. Halifax and Toulouse at the top with 14. Remains to be seen just how the table stacks up once the game has finished today. I'm looking for my league table and can't find it. I've found it, there we go. So it was Toulouse 14, Halifax 14, Barrow 13, Bradford 12. Well, we know Bradford have won today, so they've gone on to 14 as well.
Oh, they're playing today, aren't they?
No, not Sheffield, Batley.
All right.
Batley, I think.
Yeah.
I'll get a voice in my ear in a minute confirming that. 48 points to 12. Thank you very much, James in my ear from the studio. Wonderful man, very attentive to my needs. Here's a trying to see who that is. I think it's Akumatai. Is it rampaging forward? The crowd loved that. 20-25 metres by Akumatai, and then Jack Martin takes one around the ears from Lachlan Hannigan, and the Australian smiles as he realised that the game was up on that one. He was.
I didn't think he was either.
Didn't you?
No. Well, it's because he's got a lot of hair. He's got a lot of hair as Jack Martin, hasn't he? And it kind of he gets the impact, and his hair flies about. And I'm going to watch the YouTube back, Andy. I'll have to watch it back. But he carried on as though he did as though he made a complaint about it. He ran on to the next phase. Anyway, I'll watch it back.
Mick, I've got no room to talk. I misconstrue all sorts of things, but I think when we look back, I think we might find it.
I'll have a watch. Everyone up at home who's watching it on YouTube will be like, what is
Mick Ramsden, he's going to give us his man of the match delivery in a moment. Oh, brilliant work out there from the Knights. They created an initial overlap for Ben Jones-Bishop. Wow. Still going, still going, still going, still going! Dots down behind the sticks. What a great bit of work, just incisive as you like. Created what seemed to be an overlap. Then Ben Jones-Bishop route to the try line was closed down. So he took the diversion and just stepped inside and basically just ran through Hunslet defenders with 3 minutes to go. It's 56 points to 8. BJB now has 4 tries for the day, and come on, Mick, how's your arithmetic? Let me have a look. What did he start with at the start of the day? He's now on 11 for the season, Ben Jones-Bishop. Off what, 6-7 games maybe he's played?
Yeah.
So Ben Jones-Bishop eventually went under the sticks after wending his way round from the right wing. Picked the ball up 25 metres out, wide on the right.
He's a great finisher, definitely.
Yeah, he's had a belter today, and that's just that's put a spanner in your man of the match calculations, Mick.
Well, yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Here's Liam Harris again.
But he's got to have it now, hasn't he? We can't not give him the man of the match when he scored 4 tries. Even though, I mean, there's been great performances throughout the team, but to score 4 and not get it is wrong, isn't it?
Liam Harris converts, 58 points to 8. We'll give Mick Ramsden 30 seconds just to see whether he wants to reconsider. I can tell he's trying to convince himself here.
Yeah.
Come on, Mick.
I'm gonna have to give it to
Final answer.
Ben Jones-Bishop. you cannot score 4 tries and not get it. Even though there's been Liam Harris has been fantastic. Has a hand in a lot of the tries. Tamatafa has been great to watch, and particularly in the first half, exciting player. Lots to come from him. Brilliant. Jack Martin's had a great first half, but not had enough minutes this half to make an impression on the man of the match. So. And the whole team's played well, but I'm going to give it to Ben Jones-Bishop.
Thank you, Mick Ramsden. Great to have him alongside. Just great analysis of the game as it unfolds. And that game against Bradford coming up in the 1895 Cup semi-final next week. The Knights going into that in good form and a confident mood. But Bradford will be the same after their win today. It'll be a real tussle, and if you can get down to the LNER and support the Knights next week, do. Put it in your diary. Have a day out with us. It'll be some atmosphere because the Bulls will bring a big crowd, I can guarantee you that. Hunslet at the moment in the Knights 10. Canberry over the ball. Goes to Foster, whips the ball into... Oh, they've dropped the ball again. Billy Jowett this time as the Knights line advanced, and difficult day. Canberry just with his hands on his hips at the moment. The hooter's going to sound before we have any more action, and really they've put an effort in of Hunslet, but they've been outclassed today, and they'll just be glad to get up that tunnel and back out of the sun, won't they, Mick?
Without a doubt, outclassed is the word, Andy. Exactly right.
Yeah, there's some long faces down on the Hunslet bench, and he's a great guy, is Dean Muir. His former club West Bowling going really well in the National Conference, and but his side very second best today. 58 points to 8 at the final hooter, as the Knights walking wounded and not required today go out to do some running. And they've gone over to the shadow of the West Stand. You couldn't blame them, could you, Mick?
Can't blame them.
So Joe Brown, Con Bailey, that's Hingano, Harvey Reynolds.
The conditions going easy on them, really, though.
Yeah. So the players exchanging handshakes. The Knights get the win, and they tag on that 2 points onto their league tally. They are up to 12. They might just have advanced, without doing any arithmetic, they might just have advanced a place in the table, not sure, but certainly in good form at the moment. Jude Ferreira out there limping on that ACL injury, denied a chance to play against his old club today. Just shaking hands with Liam Wellham and Scott Galliano. 2 tries today for the Oz. And Kieran Buchanan, another just exchanging handshakes. But really good second half from the Knights. They got half the job done in the first half, Mick, hadn't they? 22 points to 8, but just really kicked on in the second half. And when you look at that, 36 points without reply.
Yeah.
They were really put to the sword in the second half, this Hunslet side. And they just ran out of gas, didn't they? They ran out of numbers, and very, very difficult day for them. Johnny Thompson comes across to celebrate quickly through the action of the second half. It was 9 minutes of the second half before Ben Jones-Bishop got in at the right corner for his third try of the game as the Knights once more created the overlap. 4 minutes later, Scott Galliano got his 7th try of the season. Beautiful floated pass from Liam Harris that just escaped the outstretched fingers of Kobe Nicol, the Hunslet right winger, and dropped into the hands of Scott Galliano, and he got low, slid over the try line. That was 30 points to 8. Liam Harris couldn't convert on 57 minutes. Liam Harris just unpicked, ghosted through his trademark ghosting run just through the Hunslet defence from 22 metres out, and left poor old Greg Eden, the Hunslet fullback, sat on his backside watching him go. Converted his own try. That was 36. 62 minutes, and Galliano went in again on the left side after Joe Law and Paul McShane kept the ball alive really well. Liam Harris converted that one, although I thought it missed. 42 points to 8. Tamatafa got his second try in the right corner as he went through several tacklers. Some poor tackling out there by a tired Hunslet defence at that point on 68 minutes. 74 minutes. Probably the best celebrated, best appreciated try of the day. Big Akumatai just drove under from about 8 metres out, past 2 of Hunslet's front line and forced the ball down. Liam Harris converted that, and then on 77 minutes, final try of the afternoon from Ben Jones-Bishop, his 4th, his 11th of the season. Took the ball out on the right wing, saw his way bad, cut back inside, and basically just ran through what Hunslet defenders they were from 25 metres out, stepped off his right foot and ended up under the post for Liam Harris's easy conversion. 58 points to 8. Any final thoughts, Mick? Sort of a quick look ahead to Bradford next week, that 1895 Cup.
Yeah, well, York, plenty of confidence in the camp, 6 out of 7 now, and looking forward to that massive game next week. And yeah, he's got some selection problems, hasn't he?
And that was my next point.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about it today, Connor Bailey, Joe Brown, Atta Ngannou, Connor Fitzsimmons, all champion for a game next week. You know, he really has an embarrassment of riches at the moment. So, we wish him well with that selection next Sunday. We will get his comments very, very shortly. He'll be up to speak to us on his thoughts of today's game. Ben Jones-Bishop just going past with a big smile on his face. 4 tries for him today. Mick, thanks for being with us. Thrilled to have you along. Hope you've enjoyed it. It was a bit of a try-fest for us here in the sunshine, and you've topped up your suntan as well.
Yeah, loved it. Thanks for inviting me, Andy.
Okay, there we go. So, from down here at the LNER, we'll hand you back to James in the studio with the final score here. 58 points to 8 to the Knights, and if we do manage to get Mark Applegarth before we go off air at 6 o'clock, you will be the first to know.